Hey, how we
Hey.
doing? So how we doing? How you doing?
I'm
How
good.
you
I'm waiting for
feeling?
you to be okay. I'll start. Welcome y'all to the Runners Club podcast. This is another episode. I believe this is episode 63. We're so happy that you're here joining us today. Remember to follow, like, subscribe, send us your comments.
No, I was just looking for a call and response. That's all. That's all. I'm your co-host, Ian Gonzalez.
And I'm Courtney Phillips.
There we go. We here. We're together. It's the morning time. It's early as fuck. It's actually the sun. It's coming up earlier here where I am.
Everywhere
in this land.
in the northern hemisphere.
I don't even care. Fuck
Okay.
everything and everywhere else. Here.
Where I'm at, the sun is rising so much earlier.
And I'm excited. I have lived in seemingly perpetual darkness for months now.
Yeah.
And like I was taking Julius to the metro train today. He has to catch like a 6:15, 6:20 train, and usually it's like pitch black. You know, it's like dumb dark. Okay.
Yep.
But today, the sky was like that little dark midnight blue, and you could see the sun creep over the houses just to the left of us and stuff like that. I was like, spring is coming.
It's coming.
It's here. It feels good. Fuck that groundhog for 6 more weeks. You know.
Yeah.
The sun is giving otherwise.
I feel like does Groundhog's Day apply to the West Coast or like LA? Because I don't think it applies. I feel like it's very like Midwest, East Coast.
Y'all have a milder winter, yes. So no, it's not.
Like, what do you mean 6 more weeks of what?
Pertinent information.
High 60s.
Oh my God. Please go watch the YouTube. Pull up the YouTube video if you want to see me repeatedly roll my eyes at Courtney's great weapon. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I mean, we have guests today, and I'm excited to talk to them. I think we do a really good job. I think of like bringing, like, I was thinking while I was going to bed last night about our approach to podcasting and running. And I really think we do a good job of mixing it up because, I mean, we had the fundamentals with Coach Robin. We talked to run club leaders from across the United States. We just talk shit. I mean, it's just like, you know, because the way we do it, I'm entertained. Like when I'm editing our stuff, I was looking at our video the other day, just trying to get a little 15-minute clip for our Instagram. And I'm like, I just kept watching for like an hour. And I had already found the clip. So I'm like, if I like it, obviously, I mean, I do things because I like it, but I love being reaffirmed on things that I'm doing and feel are quality. So
that's fire.
I'm just happy to be here. And I don't know about you, but I'm like, maybe we should just like let our guests in.
Yeah, let's pop right in. You know, we'll talk to y'all afterwards. You know,
yeah, you know what it is.
We got going on.
All right, we'll be right back.
Let's go. Awesome. Boom. We back. We have our lovely guests, Raymond and Breck. Run Too Hard. Chicago is in the building. I love it. Yeah, I know. Listen. Just stand wherever you are, in your car, on your couch. Round of applause.
On your run. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
That's awesome. Round of applause.
On a plane, airplane mode. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, if you on a plane, stand up.
Right. Teach your ass back out.
So the runners everywhere. How y'all feeling this morning?
Good, man.
Feel good. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's over 30 degrees in February in Chicago. Can't complain, man.
I love it. Did we get any miles this morning?
I'm actually getting miles after this.
Love that.
Look at there he is. No miles for me this morning. Hit up some strength training, 6:30 with my lady. But that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for joining us. I also want to make sure that there's clarity behind between your voices. So, first of all, Breck, tell me, I guess, like, can you say hey real quick? Just want to make sure that people can see the difference between your voice.
Hey.
What's up? Okay. And then
What's up? This is Breck.
Yes. And then Raymond, we have Raymond here too.
What up? This is Ray.
All right. Yeah. Just want to make sure people know that you're two different people. So
I love that. Well, y'all can go and pull up YouTube and see these gentlemen live and in effect.
Exactly.
I love it, man. Like, so with me personally being here in Chicago, I've had the opportunity to see you all as currently the two leaders of Run Too Hard. See you really came into my line of sight in this last previous summer. I guess we just want to start off with just letting everybody know about Run Too Hard. What is it? Where did it get started? What's the mission? Where is it going? Give us the elevator pitch for Run Too Hard. Like, what is that for y'all?
Raymond, you got it?
Sure. So we started running back in 2019, and it was just something to do, just to hang out with friends. We were meeting in the evenings at the time, so Tuesday evenings at 6:30 at our friend's restaurant, 1111 in West Loop.
Shout out.
Shout out to Ahmed and 1111. But yeah, it's just something we did once a week. We all wanted to start running. I wouldn't say any of us were runners at that point. But mostly we just get 3 miles in, have a couple glasses of wine after, and then go about our day.
I love it.
So we were doing that for about a year. Then obviously the pandemic hit. So from there, we kind of stopped for about 6 months. And then when it was fine to go back outside, Breck and I, at that point, our actual founder, Colton and Aubrey, shout out to them as well. They moved back to Portland. Yes. So then Breck and I were just talking one day. We were like, hey, should we get this started again? And, Breck, being a morning person, he suggested we do it at 6:30 in the mornings at a Humboldt Park, which, we both live in the area. So that was perfect. I don't know if I agreed with the 6:30 in the morning, but now I love it. I learned to love it.
Okay.
And then from there, just staying consistent and definitely grew. The incubator opened our eyes to a lot of the running community and honestly helped us get a really good jump start once we started running again. And
that's the Nike. Did you say that's the Nike incubator?
Yeah, the Nike incubator that we're all part of.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I was able to put a face to like the name so much. Mm-hmm. I can't remember if that's exactly where I discovered Run Too Hard or if I had heard of it prior to. But the Nike incubator program where I got to meet you all, Stanley, Family Style. What is it?
Tortugas.
No, Tortugas, I already know Davey. Like that was,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
everybody knows Davey.
West Town, Rainbow.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Rainbow. And then the Coffee Run Club. What is it?
West Town Brew Crew.
West Town. Every time I think of them, I just think
and South Loop Runners.
Yeah.
West Town Brew Crew sounds like a bro club.
Yeah.
Funny enough, they just meet at coffee shops.
Interesting. Like it's coffee brew?
Yeah, coffee brew.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, they just rotate around. It's like super cool. I want to get up with them one run. But it was awesome to meet y'all through the incubator program. And I feel like the incubator program was opportunity for me, being somebody who's been a run club leader for a while, just to see you all and your commitment to the space, which was really awesome. And then I also had the opportunity of Breck learning that you were an athlete prior to running. But it was basketball and not so much running. And you switched to running because basketball has age limitations on it.
I mean, look, Ian, I still got a little jumper in there. I want to make that clear. I still get up and down a little bit. Shout out to Swish House, basketball fitness brand here in Chicago. But yeah, it definitely is different when, you know, hoopers grow up. We're doing sprints, 16, suicides, and that's about it. Like short intervals, definitely not going out here and running miles. And so it took a while for me to kind of make that transition. But I think living in LA and living near the water kind of helped that. Like Raymond said, I've always been that crazy person that's up at 5:30 every morning for years now. And I just kind of fell in love with being up before the sun, being out there along the beach. And then when I moved back to Chicago, when I was back in Hyde Park, I was right over there on 47th Street, popping over to the lakefront. And especially in the morning, it's not that many people over there. So it was amazing. And it just became a huge part of the routine. And then, like as Raymond said, 2019, that's where we met at 11:11. And it was just one of those things where it was a combination of just genuinely good people that were at 11:11 having a good time, having a few drinks, but also were health conscious, liked working out. And then Colton and Aubrey kicked it off.
Yeah, so that was kind of my next question to Raymond a little bit more was like to hear that you guys met in 2019 through running is really interesting because I feel like the way y'all vibe are, I would have thought y'all was like college buddies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I was gonna ask you, Raymond, like do you have a similar path into running? Were you playing, did you have another main sport that you played and then you kind of slowly got into running as maybe that organized, you wasn't able to participate in that organized sport as much or whatever kind of catalyst that brought you into running?
For sure.
Raymond does everything. Let me just start with that. Then go ahead.
Okay.
I play every sport, and I was a 3-sport athlete in high school.
What was the 3 sports?
Football, basketball, tennis.
Tennis.
Damn, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I still play tennis. Definitely more like golf and running now. So, you know, the leisure sports in my old age. But yeah, you know, growing up as, you know, an athlete, you know, especially in team sports, running is kind of considered like a punishment,
right?
You know, at the end of the time. So I've always had this hate relationship with running until I started doing it with friends.
Yeah.
Also, you know, 19 is when I started running, but then, you know, during the pandemic, long story short, I got hit by a car and I had to get through this injury, and running is literally the only thing I could do to rehab my knee. So honestly, I think that's when
interesting.
Yeah.
That running was what you could do.
Yeah, because I can't, and still to this day, lateral movement's a little tough on my left knee. I tore my meniscus, and then I have like all these like IT band problems. But yeah, running is like the one thing that I can do that doesn't really bother my knee. Like I won't wake up the next day and, you know, be crippled. But yeah, you know, I got back into running when I was rehabbing, but started running at 19, just like I think most of the people in our original group.
Smooth. And and so okay, so that's kind of like why I wanted to bring up the fact that y'all was athletes pre-run club, right? Because like you said, running being kind of presented as a punishment for athletes, just how I would like from both of you all to answer, how were you able to make that flip? Was it an easy flip? Like did you kind of like was that a point where it was like, oh, like I gotta get up and like get this run. This is my thing now. Like I want to do it. Was it like really easy to make that flip to becoming a kind of like quintessential runner?
Yeah, I mean, should I go first? I guess back in the early days, like before Run Too Hard, I think the longest I ever run was probably 1 or 2 miles. And then we started running about, you know, 3 to 4 miles every Tuesday evening. And honestly, what made it easier was that I was just with a bunch of friends or like-minded people. And And then it was baby steps from that. Like, I think I started running initially in like basketball shoes. Like, it was crazy. I was doing basketball shoes.
The
And
Kobe's.
everyone was like, yo, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know. I'm running these on the court. And then, yeah, just from there, we got like the right shoes, found like the right people, and then stay consistent. That was it for me.
About you, Breck?
Yeah. I think for me, like going back to when I was living in LA, it definitely helped that I lived by the water. And it was one of those things where I was living in Long Beach, had to drive to Santa Monica every day. And so, Courtney, you know about that LA traffic now.
Yeah, Long Beach is far away. I don't know.
It was
so
not
Santa
it was
Monica.
Not, it was,
that's wild.
It was not close. So I'd get up super early, drive up there to beat some of the traffic, and I'd go over by the pier and go up and down. And it just became something I fell in love with. Just became something that was a routine. I also think it was something to compete with myself with. Like it wasn't like a basketball practice where you're with the team. It was the first time I think probably in my life that I was doing some sort of exercise that was just with me and myself. And I started to enjoy that. I trained to do the LA half in like 2015, but ended up getting hurt like a week before, sprained my Achilles, couldn't do it. And then shortly after that, I moved back to Chicago, and I said, "All right, I gotta check this off the list at least once." And then ended up doing the Chicago Spring 2016, and ended up doing pretty good time. I'm gonna beat it soon. I'll put this out there. I'll beat it soon. But it was just something that in LA, you're doing it to look good. It's the whole thing out there. But then here, it's like, this is just who I am. Just working out, staying some sort of health conscious. And now it's so much easier doing it as a group. Like I've always enjoyed bringing people together. I think that's something that I'm naturally good at. And it's so much more special when you're getting a sweat in with the person next to you too.
And I mean, I guess that to me makes me wonder then, okay, can you tell us the story of how Run Too Hard really started? And like, what is the mission of Run Too Hard, and like the type of runner that you are looking to attract? I guess we'll start with Breck. Yeah.
Yeah, I can go. I mean, it's because it's got the two parts. I mean, Colton Aubrey kicked it off in 2019. We were meeting in the meetings in the evenings, and we had a nice thing going. And then, unfortunately, the pandemic shut that down. They moved back to Portland, and I wish I could.
So these two, I don't mean to interrupt, but like, so you said who are the founders?
What's Colton and Aubrey.
Colton and Aubrey are originally from Portland.
I believe they're from Oregon.
Oregon,
Pacific Northwest.
General. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so y'all, was it just like you four meeting up?
No, it was 2 to 3 people, that classic. Okay. We have a couple people. Some days we have 6. And I kept saying, I can't wait for the day for there to be 30, 40 people running down Lake Street. I swear to you, I was saying that. It just never took off like that. And then it shut down in the pandemic. And I really wish I could remember the day where Raymond and I were talking, and we said, like, should we bring this back? Like, should we get it going again? Yeah. And we hit Colton up and said, hey man, like, we'd love to keep Run Too Hard going, like, for you guys, and see if we can build this thing and have it grow. And he's like, all right, here's the Instagram login. Here's the password.
Yeah.
Yours. That's literally how it happened. And selfishly, me being a morning person, I felt like it was something special about getting miles in first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like I've always been a fan of doing it first thing in the morning. I think that's the only thing you can control in the day is whatever you do first thing. Like for me, being in advertising sales, you got to entertain, you got dinners, client stuff, meetings. You never really know how crazy your day can get. And I'm sure we've all had those days that have been crazy when you got up in the morning and planned to go to the gym at night, and you end up just going home because something happened during the day.
2000%.
That's real. So it became like, let's do it in the morning. And then at that time, people were only leaving the house to go get coffee and going back home. And it was perfect timing because Atmos Coffee Shop down on North and Western, shout out Atmos, shout out Antoine. My fiance and I were going there every day. Just as like, this is how we're getting out of the house. We're going to walk a little bit. Honestly, just trying to stay sane with everything that was going on. And we created a really good relationship with them. And we asked Antoine, hey man, like, we're going to get this run group going again. Would you be cool if we start and end our run here and essentially call this place our home? And it was an amazing opportunity to not only give back to Black-owned business, but then at the same time, I think like one of the biggest things that sets our group apart from others is that we have this home, this business, this coffee shop that is also a huge contributor to having other people join us on runs.
Yeah. Okay. So so you're doing 6:30 a.m. on Tuesdays?
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay. So Raymond, and you were like, I'll give it a try. I'll work my way into it. Like what was the conversation really? And like, how do you feel about it?
I don't know. I'm a yes guy, so I just said yeah, and then learned to love it. Honestly, Tuesdays now are my favorite days. It's my most productive days for sure. And right after Run Too Hard on Tuesdays, I go and lift. So it's kind of perfect to start my Tuesdays. And then we started adding other days to it. Thankfully in the evenings. So now we have like a Thursday night run.
Yeah.
Which has been getting a lot of traction and a lot of people are really liking it. It's a track style workout. So obviously the next major Chicago run is Shamrock. So everything we're doing is programming for Shamrock. But I think we're going to keep that going, hopefully throughout the year, possibly another day in the evening, but also including like our strength training workouts. But that's most likely like once or twice a month.
Yeah. Okay.
I love that. Listen, bring back the evening run at 11:11 so I can come get a drink.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
We talked about it. Yeah.
I honestly think like a throwback day, a throwback night would be something we should do. It was an amazing route, like going through River North and then cutting up State Street and then coming back down the Riverwalk. It's something about coming back down the Riverwalk, especially in the summer at 6:30 at night. You're not even focused on the run. You're just weaving in and out of people that are out there trying to have a drink. So it was a really good route.
I love that.
It's really motivating to run and weave through people.
Yeah.
I have some fond memories with y'all at 11:11. Y'all Christmas party was beautiful. It was awesome. It was
Courtney,
nice.
we need you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know I need to come back to Chicago or just the Midwest in general during, I think this winter, this holiday season. So I'm, you know what I mean? You may see me around. So I love the fact that you have added, okay, so you have your morning Tuesday run. I mean, that sets the week right. You're really, I mean, that's one of those things where like once you do it and it's not so much a choice, you're not thinking about it too hard and you're just doing it. So I love that. And then your evening runs, but can you talk about the mileage and the type of runner who actually is in your crew? Because it's every crew attracts a different vibe.
Yeah, right.
So can you speak to the actual runners that are running with you? And and also the distances that you're running, what you're pushing.
Yep.
Or did you have
so I think we're really good at having all paces and all different kinds of runners. On our Tuesday community runs, we run almost exactly a 5K, so 3.1 miles. And then we have 2 stops along the way for everybody to gather up. And then, we kind of catch up with the other runners that you haven't seen or, talk to the new runners that have joined us.
Yeah.
But like each leg is almost a mile. So we almost stop after every mile for like 2 minutes.
Nice.
And then we get back along the route. On Thursdays, because those are more like speed workouts, the work is anywhere from like 2 to 4 miles. And what we've been doing, because we are, there's a lot of discrepancy in our paces, is everything has been timed. So we'll do timed work for like 3, 4, 5 minutes, whatever it may be that day. So everybody starts and finishes at the same time.
Mhm. Okay. And so it's just those 2 days, or did you say you had another day?
So the other days that we've been doing have been
Strength work.
workouts that we've partnered. Yeah, we partnered with gyms,
Yeah.
so it's whatever
Okay.
they have programmed for us that day. Current partnerships with Pro Trained, Pilsen.
Mhm.
We have Rise Nation in River North, and then we got one coming up with Base Camp in West Loop.
Okay.
That's fire.
We love
Yeah,
I
strength.
love the rotation and the diversity, like
yeah, and
switching
they're all
it up.
very different workouts, so it's a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it's set up. We're trying to set it up for people to have options. Like, it's
Mhm.
a lot of these gyms, they're offering this the first time is like a free opportunity for people to come check it out. But then it's just for us to introduce something new to our crew, whether that's, going to Rise Nation. A lot of people, the first time on the Versa Climber, that thing is no joke.
Yeah, I do it.
And
I've done
then
it at Train Moment a
Train
couple
moment.
times.
yeah,
Yeah, they kill you with that.
and then Train Moment is like family with us too. So like
Yeah,
it's nice to just present these different strength training opportunities for people. And then from there, it's set up like, hey, we'll probably have like one day a month. This is the dedicated day we're going to be here, and it's up to them. But
Right.
it's nice to just know that we've gotten a lot of feedback that of people that have been running for a long time, or people that maybe have only done strength training, that it really makes sense for us to lean into both and have it
Mhm.
set up so it complements one another.
Yeah, it really does. I've been listening to I've discovered Andrew Huberman's podcast, which is
Okay.
like each episode is like based like 3 hours of just complete nerdness, right? And right now he's doing this like guest series about training and endurance and fat loss and all of these different pillars and stuff like that. And I've just been nerding out. And like you said, like there is not only have we been speaking about it on our podcast, but like more knowledgeable people who study these things and through a
Mhm.
scientific context is like it's super beneficial to have some kind of steady state cardio, you
yeah,
know, and
Right.
coupled with strength training to live a longer, healthier life. Like you don't necessarily have to
Right.
be like us, so we trying to do the half marathons, the full marathons. Like I'm trying to do an ultra and march and stuff like that. You gotta do all of that. Just just like 3 miles.
Maintain that skeletal muscle mass and your
Right.
bone density,
yeah.
Just all of that. So
basically.
right. So I love the fact that y'all found a way to offer both of those things to your runners. Because I mean, with 7 on Sundays, I mean we've been around for a while, but we still haven't really been able to
Yeah.
make that a constant. Hey, fiance.
Right.
Not bad.
A full thing that we always have right throughout the year. I was really curious to hear the setup of the run club and what kind of runners that you do bring in, because learning that both of you all are athletes, like I feel like there would be a competitive feel to the run club, especially first of
Yeah.
all, even with my initial introduction to the run club, the name Run Too Hard, and then when y'all came with the visuals, you know what I'm saying? Like that was like it wasn't
Yeah.
even just pictures. Like yeah, my man's on a building across the street catching y'all coming
Shout
from.
out, yeah,
Yeah.
man. Shout out, Andreas. He provided a nice little vision for that. It went really well.
Right. So
But
like I go ahead.
it's a wide range. Like I think
Yeah.
for one, picking a distance of 5K is the perfect distance where it's not gonna scare you, and it sets itself up to be extremely welcoming to anyone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then also incorporating the 2 stops also makes it a little more welcoming to maybe someone that hasn't ran in a while. Maybe they're just starting to get into it, because we all know, if anyone reaches out and asks about your run club, it's always how fast do people run? What's their mile time? Like, I don't know
Right.
if I can keep up. And there's all
Yeah.
and immediately, depending on what people say, you're never gonna see them.
Yeah.
Right.
But because we have such a wide range, like we've got some speed for sure. But then, we've got people just getting into it and are using the community as motivation and then you start to see a lot of consistency, which has been good. So I think that wide range has been extremely welcoming, and has helped us get a lot of different types of runners. And then it's cool that at each stop we wait for everybody. Like it's
Yeah.
not like you get there first, you chill for a second, and then you're gone. Like you wait there, you're cheering everybody on, hanging out for a second. It's 2023. We got to get the content, and then we keep going.
Yeah. And I mean, the reason why we asked too is because this podcast, in my opinion, really helps other run clubs kind of reflect on what they're doing, their process, or even inspire other people to start run clubs. And the biggest theme across all conversations is like, if you are considering, being open and welcoming to newer runners, you have to make it like digestible and
for sure
in a community setting, and everyone does it differently. It's like, Tortugas does a 2-mile run, but like the fact that you guys break up the 5K into miles, then it's like, okay, I could do that. And then I know, for me with Gumbo Fit, it's like, okay, well, everyone loves a track because it's in one location. You can't get lost. If you can't do the whole workout, that's okay. Take a break. And then obviously to what you guys are saying, as well as like, strength is always something where if you can provide like free strength class, I mean, we're already doing like, free fitness anyways to our community, which is like, that's revolutionary and that's life-changing. But it's like those layers of additional fitness to like be holistic is the thing that I think like everyone is really catching on to, and like your community will stick with you because then they're becoming better people with you.
Yeah.
I love that.
I completely agree. It's funny, and I was just thinking about it. When we first started, we did not stop because there was also only like 3 or 4 people, and it was just the straight 5K, and that was it. But and then you talked about like how people get lost when you have like a certain route. Humboldt Park, I think, is one of the most slept on parks and areas like in Chicago. And like the park itself is absolutely amazing. Like that first stop that we have on this hill is not the biggest hill, but it's high enough where on the perfect morning you look back and you can see the entire skyline.
It's one of the biggest hills in Chicago. In my opinion.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it's funny though, because until we got to the incubator program and learning the little things about having pacers and having other people kind of spread out that have done it a number of times really helped us, because there were definitely days where before we would stop, we would turn around and say like, oh, where's this person? Where's this person? And they would get lost.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped us create some more structure. And then we just leaned into the stops, because not only can people that maybe are more experienced kind of mentally prepare for like, all right, this first leg, I'm going to go all out. The second one, maybe I'm going to take it easy and then I'm going to finish strong. So there's a lot of different ways to approach it, which I think is a pretty cool and unique setup.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I mean, I'm happy to hear that you were able to take tangible practices back from the incubator. I didn't get the opportunity to partner with you all, partner with Family Style. But the more I speak to you, Breck, and then Davey at Tortugas and stuff like that, I'm really seeing, because even going into that, like I was a little, what's the word? Apprehensive. It's like, is this not apprehensive in a sense, like, is this something that's actually going to truly work and truly be beneficial? And I guess it was more so an internal thing. Like, do I really have something valuable to offer? Even though I've been running 7 on Sundays, I was a captain with Gumbo Fit for a little while. Like, I've been in these spaces where growing run clubs from the ground up for a while now, but like not what the incubator provided for me was opportunity to kind of reflect on those experiences and then to turn around and share them. And I feel
Yeah.
like if you were able to take something tangible away from it and make your club operate in a more efficient way or to your standard and stuff like that,
Right.
then that means also like I get to feel a little bit more firm, like, oh, these things that we did, these mistakes that we made, these things that we learned from actually have created a solid process. Um,
Mhm.
are there any other lessons that you might have gathered from the incubator that you wouldn't mind sharing here for somebody who's thinking about starting a run club or has one and just wants to take it to the next level?
I mean, I would say before the program, because we had the Tuesday morning run at that time. I think
Yeah.
by the time we got to the incubator, that was it. It was Tuesday morning. We weren't thinking about anything else. We didn't start incorporating the strength training. We didn't have the help with Nike getting the track set up. And so I was posting, or we were posting on Instagram the same picture every Sunday afternoon or Monday morning, and with the same copy, like 6:30 a.m., all paces, 5K, meet at Atmos Coffee. And that was it. And I wouldn't even come back to the Instagram for like a week. And because it was just like that was all it was. But like
Yeah.
the incubator program helped us first just realize that we were on to something special.
Hmm.
We needed to start to figure out what our identity was, and start to lean into the people that were a part of the community at the time, and just create some sort of brand identity that we weren't even thinking about before. I think that was probably like the biggest thing that I took from that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Raymond.
Oh, I was just gonna say it was a huge catalyst for us because
Yeah,
I think from there, we started running with other clubs and just the amount of support that we got from,
right.
Tortugas, Seven on Sundays, literally every other club, was kind of just, I think it was like almost a marker for Breck and I to like, okay, we gotta take this a little bit more seriously while we don't take ourselves too seriously.
Right.
But a lot of it was also just getting out with other run crews and just engaging with them.
Hmm.
And the engagement not only on social media but on their community runs, I think that just helped us grow like tenfold. And we met some of our most dedicated runners as well as good friends from that. So I, more than just the lessons we learned, like the relationships that we festered at those incubators were exponential for us.
Yeah, and I'd also say like it's also just trying to highlight that we just happen to have some of the most genuinely just good people, like especially going back to like our OG crew that have been running with us for a minute now. Like I think it was after 1 year at Atmos, we did like we grabbed tacos from down the street and we met at Atmos in the evening. And I remember we went around and just talked about like what everyone loved about the group and like why they run. And some of those answers were absolutely amazing that we were hearing from people. And we left that just thinking like, man, like we are just absolutely blessed with just genuinely good people. And so
Hmm.
then after that, you start to see new people coming to run with us, and everyone is so welcoming. It's not forced. It's super authentic. And people are hitting us up after their first run, like, oh man, that was so great. I can't wait to come again. Like that's everything.
I
Hmm.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You keep talking about the people, the special
Yeah.
people, the people you leaned on. I have learned and continue to learn that running a run club is a lot easier when you have a solid team
Yeah.
behind you, helping to make the runs safer, better, and just even the program. Are
Mhm.
there have are you two completely like running the entire run club, the programs, the processes, the pace and everything, or do you have some runners that kind of have stepped up into leadership roles to help facilitate the run club a little bit?
That's honestly just a conversation we had last week.
Yeah.
um,
It's like it can only be y'all for so long. That's how I
yeah,
see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
it's
I
just
think
been
it's
us two for the last 2 years now.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, we both have full-time jobs. We
Hmm.
both
right.
got lives outside of the run club. So, it's a brainstorm that has happened. That'll
Mhm.
definitely, happen soon.
Because it's like you want to do it right and you want to do
Mhm.
it well. I
Mhm.
think like because we've gotten so much support, it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, now no pressure. Like you gotta keep it going. But like the
Maintain the
more
quality.
every single
Yeah.
Tuesday, Thursday, every time that we all meet up, like everyone is so amped to get in some work with each other that it's like, oh man, like we've come a long way from posting once a week where
Yeah.
we're having meetings, we're continuing to talk about ways to continue to improve the group, like trying to figure out this merch thing. Beanies coming soon.
Love it.
But it's definitely gonna require like
Yeah.
tapping into the amazing people that we have, as I'm sure that a number of them will absolutely love to jump in and take on more of a role.
Yeah, and
Love that,
that's
yo.
I think that's like the next phase for excuse me.
Yeah.
I think that's the next phase for most run clubs. It's like you can only be an individual or a team of two. I mean, for some people it works like for years and years and years and
Yeah.
years. But then it's like you grow as an individual. Some people
Yeah.
like we've seen like with 3 Run 2, like Nico, like he has a whole baby.
Oh
Like
yeah.
Yeah.
that, like that changes your dynamic and your relationship to your responsibilities. And
Hmm.
like you start to restructure what's like at the top of the list. And so, and a run club is so much work.
Yeah.
And I say that every time because when we talk to run club leaders, because I just want people to understand that like this is not just for like it's for fun, but it's like when you're the leader, it's not it that's like that's just a part of the whole.
Right.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's always interesting to me to see how people restructure, grow, and then like determine what their goals are. Because like we talked to a run club in Detroit, we run 313, and like they're like creating a whole nonprofit. They're going to start applying to grants. Like they're making it like their full-time jobs. Like it's like a
Love it.
whole thing. And so like
Yeah.
there's so many different models that you can do. And it's like for me, I had captains that turned to directors, and I had a whole incubator myself where I brought
Mhm.
in new captains and was like, this is the culture of Gumbo Fit. This is what we do. This is how we do it. And then it's like, also, you don't have to stay here. You can also start your own thing. I'm trying to just like grow
Yeah.
the running culture generally. And then
Yeah.
of course people are some people stick, some people don't, but that's just the nature of it. So, and then there's also brand partnerships. So I'm curious, are y'all like Nike sponsored, or are you, is that in the work? Like, I mean, obviously you don't have to tell us anything that you can't say, but I mean, I see the checks on on the chest.
Yeah.
So I just, and also the incubator insinuates affiliation, but like, are they supporting you? How, like, and then how are you making the most out of that relationship?
Yeah, through the incubator, I think connections were made, and then soon after we did get a partnership with Nike. Um, it's something that we're still learning how to process, to be honest. I think for the most part, they're definitely providing support with getting us bibs for races. As more of our crew is taking running a little bit more seriously and starting to run races. And then I think it kind of just helps us with, I don't want to say marketing, but just growing our community. We just did a run to, or I'm sorry, a run too hard winter warrior challenge
Run
where
too cold.
run too cold, where over the last like 2 months since December, we like kind of took attendance. And for anybody that went over 5 days in the last 2 months on our Tuesday community runs, we raffled off 5 pairs of Nike shoes. So that's how we've been using that partnership right now. But yeah, I get that's still a learning process for us, and hopefully, we can grow that piece of the run club.
My biggest suggestion is to communicate with other crews. And this is, I'm saying that like, just because if you're at a place where you're like, how do I make the most
Yeah.
out of this relationship? It's like,
Hmm.
I'm open. Obviously there's things that we can share. There's things we can't share, but it's like, you can learn from each other. And I think that
Right.
communication amongst our crews, because we are doing that work, we
Yeah.
are the ones on the ground. Like we should be able to maximize those opportunities.
Definitely.
1000%. Listen, I tweeted the other day that like through Karen and her job, like I discovered Voxer, which is the new Nextel chirp. And
Oh,
I I
I like it.
I want so bad to just get all of the leaders just on this app so we can just like chirp each other just
I'm
whenever
in.
something
Yeah, that's
comes up
dope.
or comes to mind.
I'm down.
Because I think it is an opportunity, and I think somebody responded. I think it might have been Chris to respond. It was like, yeah, we can start this run club union because
Mm-hmm.
I think there is
I like
something
that.
to it. I think like even what you saying, like I like with 7 on Sundays, right? The first year our budget from Nike, we really opened that budget up to growing the greater running community as much as possible through events, races, and just not even just the 7 on Sundays membership or whatnot, but
Right.
just the feel of the run community. And then this year we got our budget and our focus kind of shifted a little bit more to kind of like internally because there have been a lot of runners who in that first year really stepped up, helped us make things possible through planning. And once again, this a run club is not a source of income. It's not a
Yeah.
Right.
revenue generator and stuff like that. So even though we have given people pairs of shoes, we have given people stuff, we really want to show our appreciation to those runners. So like the Speed Project is an opportunity to take some of our runners outside of Chicago and do an experience that's usually not even accessible to not even just black and brown runners, but to majority run clubs. So it's because it's so exclusive of an experience and to have
Mhm.
them lean in sharing that moment, sharing that experience, its 10-year anniversary and stuff like that. So I mean, it's different ways you can work the relationship with these brands, but I think also like Courtney's saying, us talking and collaborating, and we all learn different lessons. We all learn like
Yeah.
Right.
what works. How do we get that yes? How do we switch our pitch up a little bit to make it more palatable for these brands to be like, yeah, this is something I could support and stuff like that. Because we all pitching things. Some of us are getting yes, some of us getting no's. But if we can come back and talk about our processes a little bit, it will create a higher success rate for all of us.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Listen, man, we gotta stick together. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what this is about. You feel me?
Can I
And
ask
I
you guys a
think,
question? Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Go ahead, Brett.
Go
no,
ahead.
you go.
I just want to know, because it's something that Breck and I have been talking about actually with our run crew. Like, I guess, how do you communicate with everyone in your group? Right now we just have like an open chat and it's just literally like, you got to scroll
Now we got a link
down.
tree. We got a link tree now. We're coming along.
Yeah, but
Linktree
that's not
works
communication with everybody.
as
But
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, the link in bio is always something. I know for me now that I've like am able to hire a social media manager, it's like changed my life. So like and that has been amazing. Emily is like putting in a lot of work communicating specifically on social media because it's like you got to catch people on the platform that they're using every day anyways,
yeah,
right? Like whether that's in feed posts, stories, reels, highlights, link in bio, like hitting all of the points. And then we also have a WhatsApp group. And that's pretty ideal. And then like
okay,
and what's working for us right now. And then, I have played with a newsletter. The newsletter is more work. And so then
yeah,
that is like the
100%.
thing is like, who's going to do newsletter? And so if I can come up, I would love to get to a place where I have a structure that it's kind of easy to fill in and it's more fun. If I can also get somebody on my team that is passionate about it and like takes that on, that
Yeah,
would be even better. But I think newsletters are really, really useful. I'm currently, running with a run club out here, Girl Gang Crazy, and they have a weekly newsletter, and we're training for the LA Marathon right now. And it's like,
Mhm.
love it. Like the way they do
Yeah.
it, the way they structure. I'm like, I want to get to that place, but like, that's just not me yet. But so far that's what, WhatsApp and using
Okay.
Instagram to the most is what works for me.
Cool.
Yeah. Same. Honestly, very similar formula. Like, I mean, we all know the value of Instagram, but for 7 on Sundays, the WhatsApp is so essential. Our WhatsApp is very, very active. And I mean, we have not just people from our run club, but people from other run clubs in that WhatsApp. And I mean, sometimes it's just, talking shit, kind of joking. But a lot of times, like our runners, listen, it's active. Sometimes to our detriment. But it's it's cool because a lot of our runners get together outside of 7 on Sundays regular
Yeah.
programming. That's
Yep.
when they've been able to build like friendships and train together and do all of those things that even though there is kind of like community facilitated, it still comes back to the brand as like, oh, these opportunities are provided by 7 on Sundays by having this townhouse or yard kind of situation where everybody can kind of come together and talk. And it's awesome. Like we like I think one of the links in the WhatsApp is like full of like articles and running podcasts and training podcasts or just books that people can go and look up and read and stuff like that. Cause some of us get mad nerdy. Some of us just want
Yeah.
the information given to us, but it's like its own little ecosystem that has been super awesome. And what I've learned also is that everybody is not on Instagram, right?
Right.
And so we've had to remember to take some of the information that we put on Instagram to put into the WhatsApps for those people who are not in social media. Usually, sometimes it's some of our older runners, but being analog is getting trendy these days. So sometimes some
Yeah.
of our younger runners, it's like I am not on Instagram for like 6 months. Okay. So I don't know what's going on. So making sure they
Detox.
have access.
Yeah.
Right. So making sure they still have access to that information. I do agree with Courtney. If y'all have the capacity for a newsletter, I think first of all, compiling an email list is just valuable as a
Hmm.
brand. I think that's one of those things that even some of the people who work at different brands who also are a little bit older and don't just 200% buy into followers on and interactions on social media, that email list is money in hand. Like it's help me out, Quinn. I feel like this is like your job. Like, but like this is a metric that has a lot of value to it and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. And if you can figure that out, compiling those emails and then being able to work it through a newsletter is a value. I think those are the pillars for
Oh.
us, at least as a run club: social media, newsletter,
Mhm.
and a group chat kind of situation.
I'll add to that as well. If you want to get more specific with your communication on WhatsApp, for instance, like if you started your Shamrock Shuffle training, you can make a Shamrock Shuffle like Run Too Hard chat where like those specific communications go to that specific group, but then you still have the
Yeah.
general group. I think
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
really helpful. But then in addition to that, if you use Strava, that's another social media platform, and Strava is fucking amazing because you can go on there, you can put your whole route, people can and then like they meet up with you and then they can just press start and just follow the route that you have created. You get push notifications when they follow you as a club, because you can't do this on the NRC app. Otherwise, I'd be talking about them. And as much as Nike wants us to use their app, I use it, but Strava is so much more advanced and
Yeah.
it like makes more sense.
NRC is a training app, and Strava is a
Strava's
social
different.
media
It's a
app for
social
athletes.
media,
Right.
right,
Is
for
what I'm
athletes.
learning.
Yeah. Start your club. If you don't have a club on Strava yet, get one, like start it, and then make sure everyone's following it. Then you can put updates on your runs. If that is a platform that you feel like people are engaging with and like to use, you can really make the most out of it. For instance, there's a run club out here, which you probably know about, Breck, Good Vibes Run Club. I get a push notification every time they upload a new run for the week with the route. so I can check it out before I even go. Like, that's perfect. And then there's also a comment section. You can interact. Obviously, you can follow people. You can tag, like I could tag that run club in my workout upload for that day. So I think there's a lot of options, but Strava, I think, is a little slept on in some ways, but the ones who know. And if they can get their community on it, it's perfect.
That's really good to hear. Like, Raymond, I'm glad you asked that, because we're definitely dealing with that right now, trying to figure out the best way to make sure everyone has all the info.
Yeah.
Because, we're all busy. We all have lives. Like, the way that we've been, like, just piecemeal throwing everything out there. Like, this is the Tuesday run. This is where we're at for this strength workout. This is where we're at for the track nights. It's too much. Yeah. So I think this is good. We'll definitely give those a try for sure.
Yeah, and obviously, like, if you have I haven't really checked your Instagram a whole lot, but like, if you have templates for each run and you can just switch out the information, sometimes that's really helpful if you want to make it easy on yourself. Because people love a graphic.
Gotta work on that too.
Right. I and like, we use WhatsApp, but like, I started WhatsApp before I knew what Slack was. So like, what I've also learned is, like, a lot of people with 9-to-5s use apps like Slack over WhatsApp.
Yep.
Like, use what works the best for you. Just having a central place for runners to congregate is what I feel like is the most important, like real-time communication and stuff like that.
So I guess to kind of get us starting to wrap up, I would love to know, like, what's coming down the pipeline. Are you guys training? Are you going to be putting together like training sessions? Like, like, what should runners know about what Run Too Hard has going on for like the running season in Chicago, since it's starting to like it's getting there? We're in February, but once we hit March, it's like you're going through the summer, so into fall. So like, what's the plan?
Yeah, so we're gonna do all the major Bank of America races. So Shamrock, the half, and the full. Shamrock, we have close to 20 of our members running that now. So a lot of our programming at the moment is geared towards Shamrock. And then we'll obviously, after that, we'll switch over to the half and then to the full. Otherwise, we're still partnering with more gyms. That's something that we'd like to keep doing once or twice a month. And then at the moment, we have the track until we have an indoor track through March. But after that, we could obviously move that to an outdoor track, if the weather's cooperating in Chicago. So, Breck, do you have anything else?
No, I mean, I think those are the biggest things. Like, it's crazy to look at today versus exactly a year ago. So, one, we probably weren't even really asking for our crew's feedback and thoughts on really anything. It was just Tuesdays, this is what we're doing. And we didn't even run in the winter last year. Like, our first Tuesday run wasn't until I even want to say April.
Yeah.
Like, we just shut it down. It wasn't even like, what do you guys think? It was just, it's too cold. Let's just stop.
And then you realize everyone's like, so are we running?
Yeah. And so, but this year, it's been amazing to see, like, the growth, how much more people are into it and want to continue to ride that momentum and continue to get better together. So now, like, we're going to be out there every single Tuesday this year. We've obviously had a few extremely cold Tuesday mornings, but we've still been out there getting it in. And I think that's probably the biggest thing. Like, people want to run more. People want to be involved in these races. People are up for the challenge. People have goals set, which was something that we really tapped into heading into this year. And we want to at least set the stage and create some sort of foundation for people to be able to meet those goals.
I love that, man. Like, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what Run Too Hard brings to the table. I think you both are amazing leaders. Y'all bring like good, solid, fun, comfortable energy to the run club. Like, I mean, like, I like, when I came to y'all Christmas party, like, I barely knew you both, but like I felt like I was hanging out with like really, really, really good friends. And I think the that's the energy that Run Too Hard brings to the community. Just a place to just come into and feel welcomed, no matter
We're
how
definitely running
many.
back that party, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
yes.
Yeah, second
It's
annual.
but
Love
it's
it.
yeah,
When
second
you
annual
able to
for
get
Love
sure.
it.
parent activated, it's a good party.
Yeah.
We
It's
think
a,
that was an amazing day. But it was clear that like after the incubator program, everybody was leaning in. The energy just across Chicago was different, and
yeah.
it was like, man, we should celebrate this. Like,
Yeah.
you know, people were reaching out like, oh, are we running before? Are we doing something before? Like, no, like I said it that day. Like, we're not running today. Like, we are drinking. We are having
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
We're celebrating every mile, everything that you guys did in 22. And we're going to do it again this year. Like we knew it was going to be a good time, but we didn't know it was going to be that good of a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's normalize more run club events that don't need
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm all in for that.
Let's do that. Well, I mean, Courtney, if you don't have anything else, I think this is a great place to kind of jump off. I mean, you all please share your handles, your personal handles if you want, but definitely the club handle. Let people know where they can follow you and get more information.
Oh, this is dope.
The club handle is at Run Too Hard, RUNTOOHARD. And then my handle is at Raymond_PM.
Nice.
And then I'm at B_Rec. Oh, I've always wanted to do that. That was cool.
Follow me. I love it. Cool. Yeah, I'll also add that into the show notes so people can find you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. We love to see more run clubs just coming to the forefront, being seen and celebrated. So this has been great.
Yeah, this was super dope. I felt like I learned a lot too. So it was cool.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us. This was amazing. First time being on a podcast. I almost wish I had like super deep radio voice or something.
Oh no, you're great. Honestly, it's been good. Quality vocals all around.
Thank you guys. This was an honor. This was an honor.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. Well, we'll see y'all later. Okay, we're back. And that was really great. Talking to Run Too Hard. I mean, this was another great conversation.
Yeah. Listen, I enjoy the both of them. I think they have really, really good intentional energy. And I'm happy we got the opportunity to have a bit of a spotlight on them, because I think what they're doing with Run Too Hard and who they are as people is going to bring like such a great feel to the run club community. And I'm always just interested in athletes from other sports is really, really like kind of getting into running and stuff like that, like their relationships with the sport.
Yeah.
Because it is they spend most of their life looking at it as punishment, but to like now get a sense of joy from it, I think is awesome. But then I also believe that like being that also creates an access point of entry for other people to get into running, because now other people who were not runners in high schools get to see themselves in Breck and say, yeah, I was a hooper. You know what I'm saying? Like, like maybe I can get into running and stuff like that. Or like Raymond, who sound like an all-American athlete, you feel me? Like able to see themselves in him and then come into the sport of running. Because I think these are also excuses that a lot of people use to not get into running. It's like, nah, I don't really do that. Like I played this or I did that. And it's like, no, you built for this. Like, let's go. Like you ready. So I think that's just awesome. Awesome for people to hear from runners like them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So, well,
what's going on?
no,
What's going
no,
on? I
no.
got you
I'm
first. I
asking.
hit
I'm
you first.
starting this time. Let me do this, Ian. Let me do.
Okay.
So, Ian, yeah, what's going on? What do you
Well,
got? What do you got happening over there in Chicago?
I've made choices. I've cut my
Choices?
hair off. I'm going with a stash for a little
Yeah.
while.
The fact that I haven't commented on your mustache yet, because immediately when I got on Zoom, I was like, oh. And then like 5 minutes into the conversation, I think I just got used to it, but I definitely had a moment. It looks like your whole
Yeah.
face is fresh. Did you also like trim up your eyebrows? Like you look like you look
No, these eyebrows that I've had for
they're always like that? Okay.
years. Yes, my mama gave me these. Thank you.
They're well
No, I
shaved.
mean, it's the haircut. Like
Look at that
I go
lineup.
months without haircuts, and I think when I get one, it just changes the whole situation, and people are like, "Damn, it's a whole ass nigga under there."
Right. Like I see your whole head.
He look good. Yeah.
Wow.
But
It's the
yeah,
stash.
this is a lifestyle change. The mustache is a lifestyle change. Like
Yeah.
I kind of let the beard kind of scruff up a little bit, but tomorrow I'm gonna shave it, get it nice and clean again. The mustache is a lifestyle change. Sometimes I just need to see somebody different in the mirror. Like sometimes I'm tired of the person looking back at me, and I just need to spend time with somebody new.
Okay, so the haircut is giving Ian, the stash is giving Gonzalez. Okay. I'm seeing the mixture of, like it's there. I'm seeing all parts of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
My barber name is Abdul.
Oh,
My dad's name is Javier. That's where we are right now. But it feels good. This is definitely though this is a mustache is a lifestyle. Like I'm not doing the whole like designer stuff, but like this is definitely like, I'm gonna get roasted for a few weeks. People are going to then begin to buy into it. Like Karen said, I look like a detective from the 80s, I guess.
Because you're the one doing your haircuts, I'm assuming.
No, I had to go to a barber.
And they did you said, I want my hair like this, and I leave the mustache.
Yeah. Oh, this part I'm doing.
Okay.
This I'm doing. This is
okay. Yeah. All right.
This is all. The up top. Nah, that's my barber. I can't do the lining like
got
this.
Got it.
So I gotta get a professional. But I also feel like, man, this is just as running goes, like what we in like midweek of February, like week of Valentine's. I think this episode is coming out. I don't know, but like all I know is like this last week of running has been awesome. Like, so I've been saying on Instagram, I've been doing zone 2 training. My dumb ass is actually zone 3. I have not been in zone 2. That's like ridiculously slow. But
zone 3 is threshold, right?
No,
there's zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4.
So zone 1 is warm up, zone 2 is easy, and then zone 3 is where I build aerobic conditioning, and then zone 4 is like threshold.
That's what see, I knew I was like one off. Like I was listening to the podcast the other day, and I was like, that aerobic is like one zone up. It's not zone 2.
Yeah. And that, as like, it's on my garment. It's weird, but either way, like running at my easy pace, okay, at my conversation pace, doing my easy runs, doing my warm ups, doing my cool downs, has really, really shown its benefits here recently. And I remember Coach Robin saying to Karen, I don't remember if I heard this through Karen or directly from Coach Robin, but it's like you feel the benefits of your training like 3-4 weeks later and stuff like that. Whatever you're doing right now, you will feel the benefits of it 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like I really, really, really got into I've created like a direction and a plan and a goal.
Okay.
Around Christmas, top of January, really just started executing it. And I've been staying true to that. Like there's been runs and times where I want to like catch up with Karen and run with her. Or like I just feel like, ooh, she like 2 blocks away from me. Like I don't want
Two
to be here by
blocks.
myself. Yeah, like sometimes she pick it up at the end of her run. And so usually it's like a half a block for majority of the run. But by the time we get into like the last third of the run,
I'm
she
weak.
can't kill the resist to go fast.
And
And
she's
so
like,
she
okay,
like,
bye-bye.
and the next thing I know, like she like literally 2 blocks ahead of me. She like this big in my view. But I'm just like, let me stay here, let me do this. And this last week, and I mean like literally like in real time, I have my pace has gotten faster during these easy runs while my heart rate has stayed in that chill zone. And I'm
Wow.
like, fucking yes. Let's go,
Okay.
because that makes the speed workouts easier and stuff like that. Because I'm still doing my speed. I'm not changing my paces or anything like that. But I will say my easy runs were like maybe 20 to 40 minutes slower than
Mm-hmm.
than what my easy pace actually is. But I was
Mm-hmm.
still doing my speed workouts in at the training pace that I am in right now. I just knew it took a
Mm-hmm.
minute. It's gonna take a minute to build up my endurance. But now I'm here. Now I
Right.
have arrived. And
You
now we
have
have
arrived.
what right now we have what I like to call a decent base.
Okay.
You feel me? And we only in
Okay.
February. Like
Uh-huh.
that's why I'm so excited about it. Like this is I feel like this was going to come maybe after Speed Project like March. No, we
Mm-hmm.
are in February right now. I have 12 more months. I have 10 more months of running. 8 if you talk about a fall marathon and stuff like that. I am primed to PR the fuck out of a fall marathon right now, is what I feel like. You know? And I mentioned that I've been listening to uh uh humor
That like
podcasts and
that
stuff like
3-hour
that.
podcast thing.
But like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me get fam's name, the guy he
I
was
mean, I
speaking to.
technically listen to 3-hour podcasts too. I mean,
Yeah.
not technically, I do. Because I listen to Feel Better, Live More with Dr.
Oh,
Radenchowski, or what is his name? I can't know. I always
I've
butcher his
heard of it. I
name.
haven't
His
listened
shit
to it.
is intelligent. Okay.
Yeah, it's intelligent. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So I was he's speaking to Dr. Andy Kaufman. And I
Uh-huh.
mean, like, even though they really delve deep into like the science and some of like the biological talk of some of this shit, what I
Mm-hmm.
really took from like the last episode I listened to was like, guess what? It's like, unless it's like some fad diet or some extreme situation that you're doing, all of these, like we always talking about, oh, zone two training works, running by pace, running by feel, doing this type of speed workout, doing all of that. Yes, all of it is accurate. It is really no difference to the benefits of any of them. It's the thing is just finding out which one works for you and
Yeah.
doing it at a level of consistency and intention with the plan, and you'll see benefits. All of this shit, like a lot of us as runners who've been training for a while, who've read things, we have different methodologies. All of them do work. They've been
Yeah.
tested, they've been proven to work. But which
Mm-hmm.
one are you gonna stay committed to?
Which
And
one
then
works for you?
part like, and then
Yeah.
also just going into these things with like a a measurable, reasonable goal and a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You, you will see incremental changes and growth in
Yeah.
whatever it is you're doing. And that's just what I'm focused on. I was laying in a bed the other night. Karen was rubbing on my stomach. She's like, baby, I think you're losing weight. I'm like,
Ah,
is that all I wanted to hear?
ever.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yes. Look at
Yes.
you. Yes.
Yes. And it's because I have a plan and I'm
Talk to me
executing
nice.
said plan. You feel
Yeah.
me? Yes. So that's that's just how I feel right now. Running is going well. I love
Uh-huh.
it. I am not where I want to be as far as mileage goes, but
Mm-hmm.
feel good in my conditioning and I feel ready for the speed project. It's exciting, you know what I'm saying? Like just a whole lot of lifestyle growth coming from over here. I've had to make some tough decisions in my
Mm-hmm.
personal life. I know I'm
Mm-hmm.
going on for a while. I'm sorry.
No,
Just
please,
I'm like, I have
please.
finished
Your
this
cop.
coffee in
Yeah,
one
no,
episode.
keep it
But
going.
like I had to make some like tough personal choices as an entrepreneur in these last few weeks and stuff like that. But I've gotten to a point right now where I feel really good and solid in those decisions. And um, just having a pivot. Like last I went to saw something I wanted to continue to grow and continue to be in existence and stuff like that. And I'm at my benchmark that I set before I opened this. I'm at my 2.5, 3 year mark. And I'm realizing that like I need to pivot just a little bit so I can be sustainable in my personal life, but then also give my business the space it needs to grow. And so like currently like I'm taking like this Google certification class for like project management because unfortunately, your boy got to get a job for a little while. You know what I'm saying? For actually longer than a little while. Um, which is not something I necessarily want to do, but I'm
Yeah.
realizing because I know this we haven't really talked about like outside of running for a little while, our personal growth. But like and that's what we started, which is why I want to share this. Is when we
Hmm.
started this podcast, it wasn't just about our journey of running, but just also our journey as runners and entrepreneurs. You know, living our daily lives with our partners, running our businesses, but then also like how do we balance that with our desire to be an athlete and a run club leader and stuff like that, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so coming back to that essential part of our podcast, it's like this is the realness. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what is necessary. I have to change the way that I'm approaching my business in order for it to be successful because there's two parts that I feel like put my business at a disadvantage right now.
Okay.
The first one I won't speak on too much, but the second one I feel like is my personal expenses, right?
Hmm.
Me needing to live, pay
Yeah.
bills, buy groceries, take care of my children. Like I'm living off my business every single day. But the more that I'm pulling from its revenue, the less that I have to reinvest into the business, right? And so there
Hmm.
becomes this money management issue that creates a lot of friction, especially if you're operating from a place of not having, access to
Hmm.
capital,
Hmm.
as I do, not just as a black man, but as a black man coming into entrepreneurship in a financial situation that I did. So taking a step back from that and be like, okay, I need to remove my personal expenses from the equation of my business.
Right.
I feel like doing so would allow me to be able to invest more into the business with its own revenue, but then also I no longer have to be operating from a sense of survival, and I get to then change the focus on the business being able to support itself and maybe support one or two employees. Because the
Hmm.
goal for these last 2.5 years was to get the business to a point where it can support me, and it has supported me. Maybe not to the most optimal standards, but it has given me an opportunity to live and do things and take care of my children and
Yes.
stuff like that. But let's remove that because right now what I need is another person there for me to be able to go operate, me be able to go
Yeah.
and grow the business and stuff like. Because right now I'm operating,
Yep.
and you can't operate and grow. Like Kanye said a long time ago before he went off the deep end, like when I'm going to learn how to cut fabrics at Louis Vuitton, like I'm not spending time rapping. So my lyrics take a hit. Like I can't do both things at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I mean, six in one hand, half a dozen in another. Am I adding another responsibility with getting a job that will have me dividing that time pie up even more? Yes, but in the long run, it'll give my business more space to breathe. And that's how I kind of feel right now. We got to pivot. We got to do things as entrepreneurs.
Yeah. I've heard you say that saying so many times, but this is the first time it really like resonated with me.
What?
The six in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
Oh.
Because I've always been like, what? And like, because it's very abstract, but it's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't even know how to explain it, but I understand now.
Yeah, yeah. And I got it from my grandmother, but it's just like,
Yeah.
like it's the same thing coming from both sides. It's
Yeah.
like you don't have greater in this decision or greater in that choice. It's just like this is just what you have, and this is what you have to deal with. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like catch 22, basically.
Yeah.
But I love it. That's where I am. Like I feel like I'm hitting my stride. So I feel like also in the last 5 years, I have gained as a run club leader and a business owner, I've gained so many skills, so many tangible skills that I'm able to really lean on. And I'm really like narrowed them down to this project management role. Maybe doing like some contract work or something like that, or maybe getting a full-time position somewhere at a company. But like I have realized I find the greatest uh enjoyment from collaborating with with diverse groups of people, and I don't mean just like sexual orientation or cultural background, but just like thinkers. You know what I'm saying? Being able to collaborate with people and facilitate a project or a team from like a leadership role and things like that is
Mm-hmm.
it's just is the most fun I have with any one of these roles that I'm currently have in my life. This is
Yeah.
because, as you know, like being with people, championing them, celebrating them, helping them achieve a common goal is like what I love to do in this space
Mm-hmm.
anyway, and stuff like that. That's why I'm doing announcing and crowd work and stuff like that. Like these are just all echoes of this same passion, whether it's project management, race announcing, podcasting, cheering people on at our cheer sections and stuff. They just all echoes of this one passion to figure out how to capitalize on that in a way that allows me to buy more things and take care of my children is awesome.
I feel that.
But that's me in a nutshell, man. That's my fucking week. It's a very dense week. It's been a very dense week.
Sounds like it. Yeah. I mean, you got a lot going on. I am I'm tired. Um a little tired. I'm at I've hit another valley in my marathon training.
Okay. Talk about it.
Yeah, I'm like debating on if I want to do my long run this week because
Mhm.
it's because next week we're doing 20 to 24 and this week it's 15 with track workout track like 1Ks, or it will either be a 1K or mile repeats after the 15-mile run on the track.
Wow. Say fuck a stride. We're doing a track workout.
They just do it different out here.
That's
So
real.
yeah, yeah, it's kind of my shins are really messing with me right now, and I felt really great after my 18-mile run last Saturday, and I like was just breezing through. I was by myself, chilling. I don't remember if I've talked about that already. Have I talked about that? My 18-mile run?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I guess since it was last week. Yeah, like yeah, I've hit a valley like physically wise, but mentally I feel great. Like I'm going to
Right.
yoga, I'm showing up, I'm in community. I feel like, I'm fitting in, I'm like I'm finding my stride in everything else, but physically I've kind of hit another wall. This past weekend I was, running with Girl Getting Crazy, of course. We did our long run and the location was the Hollywood Reservoir, which
Okay.
is gorgeous. And I was like super hyped about it. I was like, oh my God. Cause we pulled up at 6:30. First of all, you said you were going to make fun of me if I start showing up on weekends at 7 o'clock. I've been doing 7 o'clock all training long. And now it's 6:30, all training long. So every time I'm like, Ian is going to, I'm like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can do it. If you have a reason to and a pull to do it, you'll do it. So we got there early, which I mean, by the time an hour passed, like people are trying to find parking and like we were there early enough where the parking was like wide open, but especially on a Saturday
Yeah.
morning. But it's a 3.5-mile loop
Okay.
and it's up in the hills. So where the
Okay.
Hollywood sign is, but
Yeah.
there's a whole like lake reservoir,
Okay.
which
I
it's
didn't know
like
that.
And I mean, right, I didn't know that either. I'm still very much discovering LA, like, every week, I'm just, like, finding something new I feel like it's great. And this was like, okay, this is why, because I've been to the Hollywood sign, and I noticed how a lot of the houses were faced away from the Hollywood sign. Like, not directly, not like their back was to it, but, like, if the Hollywood sign is, like, here, the houses were facing, like,
Mhm.
kitty corner. That
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know, whatever. And I'm like, "Why?" And I remember thinking like, "Why is that?" But now that I've seen the reservoir, I'm like, "Oh, they're facing the water and all the wildlife that's around the water because it's fucking gorgeous." And then, like, looking over the city, there's, like and there's you can't go down into it, obviously, but, like, it's, because they have this, like, huge fence, but they had, like
Mm,
there was deer up there just, like, chilling,
dope.
it's, like, so gorgeous, and so it was also a format that I really was able to, like, digest mentally, because you're running around 6 times to get to 18.
Mm, mm,
So, and actually less than that, it was like maybe 5 and a half ish. And,
yeah.
every time I came around, right, they have a table with, like, water station, all that stuff. So, like, and I had all my
Oh, that's
stuff
smart.
and all my goos and all that stuff. And then I was able to, like, every time I came around, I was like eating a waffle, drinking water, da 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 da. Like, it was just, and it was perfect. I was fueling perfectly. I took one ibuprofen before, like, as I was driving out there. And then I also ate
Mhm.
half of an edible.
Okay.
And it was like, because the whole edible was 10 milligrams, and that's a lot for me because that will knock me out. And it was 10 milligrams of THC and like 20 milligrams of CBG. And CBG is like helps with pain and inflammation. And so, like, those things. And so I was like, okay, let's just experiment and see how I was great. I averaged like a 9:36 pace, which is like really good for me because lately I've been doing like 10 plus pace. Like, just gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm like, I'm moving, but I'm moving
There
at
we
a
go.
little, I'm just, I'm trotting along.
Hey, hey.
Uh just want to keep it a buck. So I was
Especially on
like,
the trails, I feel like you have to run slower on the trail.
yeah, but it's not, it's as much as I wish that I could say it was a trail, it's cement. It's
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's like basically a fire lane.
Got you.
Yeah, that's
Got
what, like, Runyon Canyon is. It's you're basically just walking on the fire lane so that, like, up it so um yeah, so, like, and I had on my fly knit, is that what they are? Vapor flies, which I
Vaporfly.
haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I've been avoiding running in my vapor flies for a while just because I have gotten hurt running in my vapor flies, like, just like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, maybe it's a
They
shoe,
they
but
hit your they hit your calves and your shins directly
oh, okay. So see,
because
well,
they have the plate in them.
I thought it was like great. Like, I felt like I was running in I didn't feel anything. Like, I didn't feel anything. And that could have been the THC. It could have been the ibuprofen, but I only took one. It wasn't like I was
Yeah.
trying to numb myself. And then it was like, I didn't, yeah, I was breezing through it. And it's also like the hydration and the fueling, I think, also kept
Yeah.
me in like good spirits. And so then I was fine. And then I ran a recovery run on Sunday I think it was Monday. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
no, 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 no. Oh, fuck no. I was
Oh
like,
no.
absolutely not. I took Remy with me. We took it slow. I got in a few miles. It was great. But then, like, ever since that recovery run,
Mm,
I haven't been feeling right. My legs had it. So
right.
then I went to Myo Detox and did some physical therapy. I got cupping for the first time. She did some releasing, so there's that.
Do
But
you
yeah.
do you
Uh-huh.
think you're eating enough protein?
I mean, I'm not vegan anymore. I
Same.
eat eggs every day. I eat turkey bacon. I've been eating chicken. Yesterday
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh my god, I got my nails done yesterday," and then around the corner is this like Chinese little situation. Got the combo with like the rice and the chow mein, the noodles, and I got orange chicken and the spicy chicken thing with the jalapeno. I was like, the way she put all the stuff, I was like, first of all, she opened up the to-go container, and I was like, yeah, like maybe I'll just do 2 because I wanted to try the 2. And she was just like, rice, noodles. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then by the time I got it in front of me, I was like, this shit is busting out the frame.
Yeah.
And I was like, but then I'm like, I was so hungry. So then I just like
food court vibes.
Yes. But I was so hungry and they had booths. So I was like, let me just slide into one of these booths and I'll just take a couple bites. Smash the whole thing.
Oh my God.
Whole thing gone. And I got boba tea gone. Like I like the way I haven't had orange chicken in years. Like, I don't think you understand. Cause like I've been vegan for 4 years, almost 5 years. I haven't had orange chicken in years.
Oh my God.
As soon as that shit got into my mouth, I was like, it's done. Like the noodles, fucking delicious. I was like, whoa, yeah. So it's not like I'm not eating. Like I love food. I fucking love food. Like it's like, so I don't know. I don't know if that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe it is, but you think I'm not recovered. What are you trying to say?
I'm just wondering because I feel like you're doing a lot of recovery activities, but the reason I asked specifically about protein is just because like I know we tend to undereat protein. Like even me, I'm not vegan, but I'm pretty sure I don't eat enough protein to match out with the amount of activity that I do.
Right.
And I'm just wondering if your body has what it needs to recover and stuff like that. Because I feel like you're doing all of that. You're doing a lot of recovery activities.
Yeah.
But even still, if like your body doesn't have the building blocks for the recovery on a biological level, then how beneficial. Like, is there a gap in the recovery, especially what you're saying? Like you felt good on the run, and then like 2 days later your shit is hurting. So like what's happening? Because obviously it isn't the running directly, or maybe it is the running directly, but like 2 days later for you to have that level of soreness, when I know you done probably had on boots, I know you done probably put out the massage gun, you done definitely done stretches and all of that stuff. So then why is it 2 days later your run is suffering so much and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody, I think no matter what, I think there will always be gaps in recovery. Like, I don't think anyone is 100% on recovery. I can do better. I probably should have stretched more. I did go to yoga, which was kind of nice. But yeah, like I'm trying to, I don't know. I think it's also like, again, I'm trying different things out with my form. It's probably me just trying different things, but I'm also trying to try out different shoes because I want to know what shoes I want to wear at the marathon. Like, and I think that's part of it. But I've been told, like, if you want to try new things, you try it while you're training. And so that's what I did. And look at where we're at.
Yeah. I would have probably tried to, if you haven't run in vapors before, I probably would have not tried them on a long run, but
I ran in them during track workouts though.
Oh yeah.
Like all track workouts.
Yeah.
I'll warm up in my pegs, switch to the Vaporflies, and I do great.
What I'm saying will make a difference. What I will say though is even if you play around with your form, I've realized, I didn't speak to any cons, like in my week, I've realized that since I've gotten that form coaching from Coach Robin, and it wasn't like super form or anything. She was just at the track when I was there, and she saw me not running correctly and gave me something to work on, which was basically like leaning into my run
and leaning with your chest.
Yeah, right.
But that I use that.
But what I want to say is like I've been doing that, but what I've realized is that like my hip flexors have been very tight.
I feel it too
since I have been doing that. and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So you could be right, like making those adjustments in your form and stuff like that. Now you using muscles you haven't normally used because you haven't been running in that way,
Yeah.
which could be creating additional soreness that you're not necessarily used to.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because I was listening to you say that last time we talked, and I was like, that is exactly what I don't do. I do not lead with my chest enough. So that whole long run, I was like really focusing on straightening up my back, putting my shoulders like back, but also lowering them from my ears, right? Like,
Mhm.
and leading with my chest, also lifting up my legs more because I have a tendency to kind of drag. I'm not, like I'm not picking up my knees enough and I'm not moving my knees forward enough to make myself more efficient. So yeah, like I feel like my body's kind of in shock a little bit. And that's why I'm just like, I just don't want to run. I'm like, I'm scared to run. I'm just like, because I don't want to make something worse to the point where I can't run the marathon. And I'm also in this place where I'm like, I am not racing this marathon. I'm doing it for community. I need to come back to my why and figure out from my why, what are my priorities?
Mhm.
Like and
It's
what?
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've shown up for everything for the most part. Like I've missed a couple tracks, but I've only missed track because of my shins. And if I miss track, I go to the gym and I hop on the bike. So like I'm making sure that I'm still running, still working, still raising my heart rate. And and I haven't missed one long run.
Mhm. Yeah, you're doing the work.
It's like
Love
I'm
that.
putting in the work. And so it's just like I don't, and yes, it's definitely at the point where it's late in training, but it's like I don't know. I ran 18 miles. Eh, yeah, like, can I just get a break
Yeah.
for like one Saturday and like rest and then like come back and run 20? Like, is that the end of
I
the world? I'm
mean,
probably gonna hit up Coach Robin and see.
no, like you can have a cutback week. Like that's fine. And that's simply cool. I did want to say though, like maybe that recovery activity post long run isn't weight bearing. Maybe it's non-weight bearing. Maybe it's swimming. Maybe it's
Yeah,
bike. Something that'll get you up to that that zone 3 or whatever.
yeah,
So you can get the benefits of that, but it's not
yeah,
weight bearing and stuff like that.
yeah.
And then secondly, like the answer to your question is yeah, like my goal, like remember when I was talking about like I'm not doing all of the street workouts as part of the CSP. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
switched out kind of like my tempo for a mid long run during the week. Because I just want to I want to focus on increasing the volume and not so much the intensity
Mm-hmm.
for this first quarter of me running this year. And so but this week we have a cutback week. So instead of me doing, I really want to do a 12-mile run regardless this week. But last
Yeah.
week I did like a little under 10 just because of the route. So what I decided to do was to not do that. I'm not gonna do that. I went on
Okay.
ahead and did the tempo run this week,
Mm-hmm.
which is 4 miles with warm up and cool down. I did the tempo, and then this week I'm gonna go ahead and do the 6 to 8 miles with the strides in there and stuff like that. Like I'm going to do that because I also did my midweek long run, which was about 6 miles and stuff like that. And then Sunday, since I'm doing a shorter run, I'm gonna go ahead and run the 7 miles. So that weekend is still kind of technically a long-ish weekend. It has a lot of miles that weekend and stuff like that, but I'm not piling it all up at one time. So like I feel like feel free to do that if it's necessary, if your body is
Yeah.
calling.
Right, because it's like I also when I was training for the ultra, um, Coach Robin would have me break up my long run into and look at it as a 24, like 12 to 24-hour segment. So
Mhm.
I would do a bulk of my long run on Thursday. Then I'd come back and run the rest of it Friday
Yeah, yeah.
because your body can't tell the difference. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And I
so
think
yeah, you're right.
the
Hmm.
the jump from 18 to 20 is not a big jump. So in between that, if you want to do a shorter long run or or a chill kind of run and stuff like that. Just give your body a chance to recover properly.
Yeah.
That won't hurt your training.
And that's the thing where, I'm not, as much as I'm an RRCA certified runner, I'm not, I'm proud of the way that like I've been able to take care of myself and not push myself. Cause like if I didn't have the knowledge of understanding like cut back weeks and like, even just what I just mentioned about like, breaking up your long run and your body like being kind of like not really knowing the difference and like all those things. It's like that, the information that I've gained, one from like Coach Robin, from you, from the RRCA training, from just like running a run club, like all this stuff is helping me understand when I can potentially not show up and not completely be detrimental to my training. Like, because it's like there wasn't no way I was going to miss last week's 18-mile. Like it's like, because I knew I was like, that was a fundamental run, like that needed to happen. And that was part of like that growth. And the day before I wasn't feeling 100. I was like, I don't know. But then I ended up being okay. But this week I'm like, okay, they're doing a 20 to 24 mile run next week. That's the longest, like that's the peak. So it's like, I'm showing up for peak week. What do I need to do this week to make sure that I can show up and perform? But I will say though, there's not every runner is like, has that.
Access to that.
Yeah. So,
they have us.
They have us for whatever it's worth to them.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Right. Exactly. Cause I think we'll see. I mean, obviously we'll talk next week and I'll let you know what I end up doing. But yeah, at this point I'm like, can I hit the bike? Like, like I'm like, I was talking to, Mariah, who leads Girl Getting Crazy. She's like, yeah, I think I was talking to a coach and she's saying that every 4 miles on the bike is 1 mile running. So I'm like, I'm going to do some more research and see, but I'm like, I would also say the intensity of which you're pedaling is also part of that equation. Which is like Coach Robin.
What are we talking about though? We're talking about like, as far as like impact on your legs, as far as like increasing the strength of your legs, or are we talking about cardio?
I think endurance. I think it's endurance. Okay. Yeah, because you're not even putting weight on it. So I think it's like the endurance of 4 miles, because the timing, I think, is what matters. And then like from Coach Robin, she has told me in the past, like, if you're gonna hop on the bike, keep your reps per minute over 90, because you need to get that heart rate up. So it's like because if you're like in the 60s and you're not even really pushing, then you're not getting that endurance benefit. So gonna have some conversations and see what I'm gonna do. But right now my frame of mind is gonna take the weekend off, quote unquote, still do work, active rest, and just try again next week. And I'm gonna just try again next week.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. But I went to my detox and I got these wedges for like some exercises to help me train my feet to and now we get into the segment Courtney shares. Yeah. This week I'm talking about wedges, and we have one where like you put, because I've talked about how I have short toes, and so Nina at Myo Detox, my physical therapist, she said that, she has me doing this workout where I put my big toe on this wedge and the rest of my toes are on the ground. So you're just putting your big toe like here. And then this goes like on the outside of the back of your foot, just to like keep it from like falling over, like just on the side though. And you're doing lunges forward, but you're keeping your back heel on the ground. And then my toes start to grip the ground. And it's starting to train them into that like action. So yeah, just, for those out there that are that got short toes like me.
They got short toes.
That's a good one. Also, this too, it comes with a bigger one, and this is just really great for a calf stretch. Just put your
Okay.
foot on there and lean forward. Like it really gets it. And
it has this rocker thing that you can put your foot on and then
yes,
like rock it back.
I've used it.
I want it so bad. Like I need to get one from Instagram. It's
awesome. I feel like underrated. I think also I put in an order for the slingback.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. Yeah.
I was up late last night and I thought about it and I was like, come on, let me go just cop this real quick. Cause I think I'm gonna run the marathon with it. And put all of my like nutrition in it. If I'm like, just to keep it on me, if I like it enough, if I like running with it enough and it doesn't feel like a whole lot, I think I would prefer to have that than something around my waist.
Yeah. The bounce around the race is not nice. The only company that I found has little to no bounce as far as belts go is Spy Belts. I do carry that in the store. But the only reason I discovered them is because they reached out to be in the store, and it's a Black woman that owns the brand.
Yeah, we had her on the show.
Yeah. But like
I
all
have
the other
that.
belts, like it's just too much fucking bounce.
The thing about Spy Belt though is that it almost works too well for me and my phone. Like it takes me forever to like whip it around, take my phone out, and then when I put my phone back, it also doesn't have a lot of space for anything else. Like sometimes I want I can't. There's no way I'm running with my chapstick with a Spy Belt. Like it's my phone and nothing else. And then like I don't even really feel like I can fit a gel in there because I feel like if I take one thing out, everything else will fall out because it's so compact.
And that's not even just Spy Belt. That's just running belts, period. Like,
but the Nike one, I have a Nike one that doesn't do that.
It has a zip on the front, or does it have the flap?
It's a flap, but it's great. And the thing is, the flap is great because then you're not unzipping; it just opens up. And then they not only is it's got a main compartment, and then it's got two tiny compartments on either side of that main compartment where I can put my chapstick, I can put my goo, and I don't have to worry about it when I'm taking my phone out because I want to get content while I'm running.
Yeah. I like that. But with the John G joint, I will say, the sling bag, I like having things on this part just feels easy to carry. It frees my hips up and stuff like that, and I can fit so much shit in there, and I don't feel the weight because it's like right on my
your back.
I will say, as far as the phone goes and stuff like that, unclipping it and swinging around is awesome. But sometimes when you run and you turn it back around, like it takes some getting used to know the placement
where
of the little strap to bring back around. Like the first few times that I did it, trying to find where the strap was like a little weird at first, but then after like 4 runs or so, like I was just like doing it a few times, like, oh no, I know that motherfucker at. Just click, you know what I'm saying?
Click,
and now
let's
it's no
go.
bounce again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean that's I'm excited to get my sling back and rep last lap in LA.
Hey. I love it. I appreciate it. But listen, I gotta get August. It's my weekend. August. I miss him. It's awesome. He told me he's gonna show me his ninjas today.
Okay.
Which I'm really excited about. Which I'm also excited because he was recommended for speech therapy and stuff like that. I guess at his age, there's certain syllables and words he should be able to say that he just kind of like not there yet. Which the person who was screening him, she was like super awesome, because I was like, we talk to folks, like we use like big words, little words, like we have and he talks like anybody who's met August knows they're in for a conversation with him. So he gets a lot of vocabulary and a lot of experience with conversations and stuff like that. But she was just like, this is not an environmental thing. It's just sometimes kids just have these things, little quirks and
Like
stuff,
a
but
speech
he did it very
impediment or something.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see his process with him and
Hmm.
just to see what comes out of it, because Bam has had things to say since day one. And if he can articulate them more
Even
clearly,
better. Yeah.
I am just like wondering what is going to come out of this.
Yeah. Wow.
How life changing is this going to be for the
Right.
both of
Right.
us?
That's
He gonna
so
turn into like
funny.
a little Ti.
Oh, for sure. Oh my God. I love it. Okay. So, yeah, this is another episode of the Runners Club podcast.
Yeah, it's been one. I appreciate y'all. Listen, if you're training for a early spring, late winter race, you are a
Yeah.
fucking real one. This is not for the faint of heart.
No.
Training through the summer for a fall race is easy as fuck. Running
Yeah.
in December, in
Jesus
January,
Christ.
and February is not. So if you are out there doing this right now, you deserve a standing ovation. Okay, like you
deserve
are
a vacation.
beast.
A
Yes,
weekender.
you do.
Yeah.
You deserve a spring break after said race.
Spring
Find
break.
you a spring break and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Keep getting these miles, y'all. Love you. Peace.